23rd. Some old man back out in the garden. I wanted to take a quick shot of the work I've been doing for the last day and a half behind the shed. As you can see, I've cleared most of the brush. I've got a little bit of debris on the ground and a few bushes that still haven't been cleared, but it's looking a lot better. Before I can do an awful lot more, though, I need to go down to the Lowe's or someplace and get more lawn bags, because I can't just leave this stuff sitting on the ground. I just went ahead and ordered a new cell phone because this one that I'm using right now to take these pictures just is getting near end of life. It's over 3 years old, and its big fault now, besides being short of memory, it doesn't like to take a charge. So it's getting harder and harder to power it up so that I can actually run it. I just ordered a new one with 8 times the memory and magnetic or wireless charging, so it's going to be a lot easier for me to do, and it's supposed to take better pictures for you too. So I will probably be getting that next week, and you should see the improved quality of my photography. Some old man. On to the next thing. Hello everyone. Some old man out in the garden again. Seems like I spend an awful lot of time this time of year out here doing things. And today I wanted to show you me working on the rabbit fencing. Last year, as I mentioned, I didn't put this stuff in very well. I only stapled 1 or 2 staples in every other board. And I didn't even complete the run. I didn't finish the very front of the house. I figured the rabbits aren't going to go that far. Well, guess what? They sure did. And they ate my cabbage, among other things. Well, this year, no more. I am going back and adding more staples in each and every board and making sure that there are no gaps in my coverage. I am in the process of covering every gap with the chicken wire. Now, this is no guarantee that the rabbits won't find a way in anyway, but it should slow them down and make it so that they just don't waltz right in and start chowing down on my vegetables. So I'm going to go ahead real quick and put a few staples in here, finish up this gate, which I hadn't done at all last year, and we'll see if we can't get it done. That was the right way. And you know what? One thing I found is I do go through an awful lot of staples, stapling every board with multiple staples. I did have to go back, used up my staples yesterday. I had to go to the store and buy additional staples. I think I went and bought 2 more boxes of this stuff. These are T50 staples, 3/4 inch, which is what I was using before. They seem to hold really well. Truthfully, before the staples come out, you're as likely to rip the chicken wire. So let's go ahead and reload this for another batch, and we should be able to finish the gate with what I've just added. One thing I found when you end up with pieces of this stuff that have exposed wires, if it's any place that it's likely somebody's going to be walking by, Not so much here, although I will bend them down here even so, but over on the other end where the gate is opening, you don't want anything sticking out where people are going to be going by. I did take the time before I even put the metal up to bend the sharp pointies back under to give it a little extra protection. Well, let me go ahead. I think I've got this one tacked down well enough it's not going anywhere. Tack down these sharp pointies. Okay, I need to do this board. If it's not an end piece or a corner or something, I'm usually good with half a dozen staples. If it is an end piece like here, I like to go overboard. And I might do 20 or 30 staples in the board by the time I'm done. Almost done. This one I've done a couple, a few more. Now I'm not saying that a rabbit is going to rip out only 1 or 2 staples. However, if the bottom is swinging loose, they could just kind of push under it and they're good to go. Of course, I think where I was getting in trouble last year is I just had, like, this gate was not even covered. So they just walked right between the boards. Well, maybe not here because the boards are not shadow box on the outside, but up in the front they actually had shadow box like this that they could just kind of diagonal through, and the rabbits are so small they don't care. So that's it for right here. I do notice that I've got some nails sticking out. This fence is about 12 years old, maybe 13, and I've already gone through on most of the boards and replaced the nails with screws. I either need to pull these nails so they're not sticking out or drive them in all the way. However, this gate, I never put screws in, so I need to come back here and screw the gate up, so to speak. Also, this gate, it's not falling apart, but it's not in good shape. The gate that I use right up here in the front, I went ahead and rebuilt 2 or 3 years ago. First of all, when I built these are heavy. 3 crossboards, and the verticals are full length, so it's very much weight here. So it really was rough on the hinges. I'll probably have to replace them when I rebuild the gate. This one and the one in the far corner. The replacement gate up here, there's only 2 cross pieces, and they are here and here, so these boards stick up and down from them. It's a lot lighter. So we're going to go ahead and first secure these boards, because right here they're flopping loose in some places, and then eventually replace it when I have more time. Right now, of course, we don't have time. We're working in the garden trying to get things established, and even though I've got the plants in, I still have a lot of work to do to get it ready. There's still a lot of cleanup and doing prep work for the next section, which we'll be going over and looking at here in just a little bit. That's all I've got, some old man. Moving on to the next thing. Hello everyone, some old man. I'm up behind the shed again. This is Sunday, April 25th, a couple days after my last video that I showed you. I haven't done an awful lot up here since that video, but I wanted to go ahead and show you. I'm just about ready to finish this section here off and get it all raked up, all the roots pulled out as best I can, and then I'm going to bring in mulch and mulch here. Now, eventually, next year, I think I'm going to be bringing some more trees in. This guy will be coming out probably next week or the week after, depending on when I get to it, and I will film it when I get ready to chop that down. Hopefully it won't be a little extra excitement with the tree smashing down and taking out my shed. I don't think it will, because it's not that big, and even though it's kind of leaning that direction, I think I should be able to push it that way and it won't do any damage over there. So well, right now I'm just going to go ahead and bag up the remaining stuff that I've been raking up. I've been bagging down there, I've been bagging up here just this morning so far. I think I've brought 4 or 5 bags out to the curb. I would go ahead and salvage these pine needles for mulch and such, but unfortunately it's very dirty stuff. There's a lot of things, sticks and roots and everything else just in here along with it, so I'm not going to try to salvage it for other uses. You can see here the root. And that was part of the problem, is every time I start picking up a handful of this stuff and stuff it in the bag, the root says, no, wait a second, you're not going anywhere yet. Bagging debris like this, I usually like to go ahead and get a couple of good hands full in it and cram it down to the bottom, because then the bag will stand up and it won't tip over when I'm adding more. As if it's an empty bag, it will tip over. Stay. So I could just go ahead and grab this stuff. Hopefully not get too many roots. And I want to clean this ground up as much as I can. Unfortunately, I don't have all day. I've got to go pick up my daughter in about another hour and a half. So I'm hoping to get this done anyway. Roots out earlier, I came out with one that was probably about 15 foot long, and rather than try to feed it into the bag, I just went ahead and coiled it up like it was rope. And for all you preppers out there, you can use stuff like this to make a rope. I wouldn't depend on just one strand of it, but if you take 3 or 4 strands and weave it up like braided or something, it makes pretty strong cord. I'm not doing that today though. I'm just noting that it's out here if I ever decide I need to do it. Now it's only 3 or 4 foot long, no big deal. I just fold it up and cram it in here and hope it stays. I'm going to go get another bag, put this one down where I can take it to the front. one and you end up stepping on it. And it really makes things interesting. Okay, as you can see, the pile's gotten quite a bit smaller and it's getting harder to actually pick things up from the pile, so I'm going to sort it. I think that about 3 years ago I was clearing back here and I actually went ahead and mulched back then. Unfortunately, I didn't do anything else with it. So over the years, of course, more pine needles have come down off the big tree and the roots have been growing up through it. So the mulch that was in here is basically shot. So I'm going to bring in all new mulch. Just went ahead and put a new layer of wood mulch, and then next spring, like I say, I'm going to be putting new trees in. I think fruit trees I've got in mind that I want to put a plum and a cherry and a pomegranate, because I need the plum. It's just, I tried that once before, it didn't come out. And the pomegranate and the cherry, because I've got one of each over there in the garden as is, but they won't propagate by themselves. I need a different variety. So we'll be putting those in next year. Okay, well, we're getting pretty close now. I'm going to have to do some thorough raking and grubbing to get the rest of the roots out. That's going to probably be a little tedious, and I will get back to it a little later today, I think. For now, I just wanted to go ahead and show you the progress we're making out here, and I'll bid you adieu. Some old man, on to the next thing.